Hello my loves, welcome back to another video. I'm so excited that you're here. I am really excited to do more YouTube videos. I'm getting so many new souls joining the community, applying for private coaching, and it makes me so happy to see your applications, so keep sending them through. I'm so excited here. Today's video is really all about why neuromanifestation is simpler, easier, faster than the other tools and techniques you may have heard, like subliminals or meditations or anything that manifestation teachers have been teaching, but yet you are finding it really challenging to see results quickly in your life. So I really wanted to dive into what neuromanifestation really is and take you through step by step so that you can get the results fast and see those big desires come into your life and understand why it is that you're not actually getting the things that you want. Because I know for a very long time I was seriously struggling with receiving the things that I wanted to receive in manifestation. I did everything that the internet was telling me to do, but it wasn't until 2 years later when I finally figured out what was wrong that I started receiving those big desires. So I really want that for you too. Success does not need to take a long time. My very first online business, my coaching business, I would say I made my first 10K month within that year, within the first year of my business. And so that's 10K US dollars, which is, for an Australian, it's way more. So it is 100% doable for you when you understand subconscious rewiring and understand that we are the creators of our reality. So I love understanding things through logic and through science, because I came from a psychology background and I used to see the world very differently to what I see now. I didn't believe anything that didn't give you some type of scientific proof. Now we can see that manifestation and spirituality, they're starting to have a lot of data around it, which is really cool and really exciting. And neuroscience shows neuroplasticity, which in turn explains how manifestation can work for us. And so I'm just super excited to dive into this video because I'm going to drop so many juicy, I'm going to give it to you all. So first off, we have to understand and look at neuroscience. And what neuroscience typically shows us is the different chemicals and the way that our brain functions, and we have billions and billions of neurons in our brain. So exciting that I get to see my clients have insane results from this. I've seen myself have insane results from this too, and I'm really excited to give it to you because it really has changed my life. Now, a lot of the times where, for example, say you've spent the majority of your time doing affirmations or you're doing journaling and you have not seen the results. Maybe you are listening to subliminals or sleep tracks, or you're writing affirmations, you're doing mirror work, you're doing YouTube meditations, you're doing everything that the internet is telling you to do, but yet you're still not seeing those big results, whether that is more time freedom, scheduling your time, like being the controller of your time, taking your time back, working 10 hours a week, having the ability to travel the world and work from anywhere you want, making those 5-figure months with ease without hustling your way and feeling super lost. I know I went through all of the challenges in my life that made me feel like I was not being able to that I struggled a lot during the beginning of my journey, when I started my business, and you know, there were a lot of ups and downs. Like I was doing really well, and then I did really bad, and then I was doing really well. So I want to make sure that we are consistent in this identity and in this new reality. Okay, so when it comes to changing the story, now what I wanted to say is that the reason why a lot of these teachings may not work for you and may work for a lot of other people is because imagine that there is a garden filled with weeds. And these weeds are conditionings from our past, from our teachers, from our parents, from society, from our genetics and past lives, depending what you believe in. And these conditionings hold stories, or they hold memory in the body, right? And you can try to mindset your way out of things, but because they hold memory in the body, it affects the way you perceive the world. And you can try to use affirmations on top of them, but it's not covering the underlying layer first. So we want to clear those weeds. We want to take those weeds out, and then we can plant those seeds, which are your affirmations, your subliminals, and then all the journaling and all that hard work that you're doing will start to work, and they'll start to flourish. But if, for example, they work for many people when they don't have that already, maybe more traumatic event around love, or they have a really high self-esteem or really healthy upbringing to begin with. So all of us have gone through trauma to some sort of degree, some small t or big T trauma, and even though you think that you don't, everyone has to some degree. And I wanted to really preface that we have, so to go into the science a little bit about behind it, we have 4 brainwave states. So we got beta, alpha, theta, and delta. And the way that we get hypnotized, or that we get programmed easily is throughout the theta brainwave state. There's a 3rd brainwave state, and this is typically when you're waking up and when you're going to sleep. Now, from ages 0 to 7, we are completely in that theta brainwave state, in that hypnotic state, because our brain hasn't developed yet. That prefrontal cortex that has to do with critical thinking and logical thinking. So we're very much in that creative state, and that we're tapped into our emotions, okay? And that's why little kids cry so much, and they cry, and then they get better, and then they cry. And they're also completely absorbing the world around them like sponges. So if you think about it, if you're completely hypnotized, right? And you're so tapped in as a child that everything that your parents say, that your teachers tell you, you're completely in that hypnotic state. And so that's where you create a lot of your conditionings as you grow up. Now, for me, I grew up with a very traumatic and challenging early childhood, which in turn had led me to some really challenging patterns and self-esteem and all these fears that I have been working through, and I still work through to this day. And because of that, I'm so grateful for them, because it has brought me down the path of doing what I do today. And I always take my clients through this, where even if we're working around money, making more money, it always actually comes down to healing. And it's so funny, because I had a client call just a couple hours, or last night, and we went through, first, how can we call in more abundance in her life? And abundance looked like $30,000 a month. So what we found is that what we came up throughout the session is her triggers around her weight and around her body, and it was tied to this fear of being seen, of being shown to the world, so she has this weight so people don't look at her. And the way that this can be tied to it is because I don't want to be seen, I'm not going to work on my business or work on the things that all these ideas that I have, in fear of, what if I'm getting judged, or what if I'm going to get criticized or ridiculed? So it always leads down to certain fears that we have, and that's why we have this resistance towards the goals that we want. And my job is to really clear that resistance first, so that whenever you add those affirmations, or you move towards a certain goal, it feels less forceful, and it feels doable. You can run with it, and it flows, and you're connected to your higher power, God, and you can just run with it, right? So that's something that I really want to get clear with you before I move forward with how can you take this step by step in creating the life that you want, and using neuroscience and manifestation, or marrying science and spirituality, so that you can really create the life you love and create the money that you want, have those big dreams and goals realized. And it really is a lot to do with also the rewiring of neural networks in the brain. We have billions and billions. We have more neural networks in our brain than there are stars in the galaxy. And it is the science of manifestation is the act of wiring these neural networks, so strengthening neural networks. So if you think of a field filled with a cornfield, and a tractor going through that cornfield again and again and again, it indents the corn, that it creates a path. And that path, I want you to think of your brain when you think the same thought, or you create the same action. So visualization and tools to really cement that, just like visualization and using emotion and repetition, really allows us to cement that in the brain and create that new identity, create that new reality, create the new person, a new version of yourself. Okay, and to get to that place, you also have to let go of the old baggage, so that you can easily create the new identity. Because if you think of an incongruent belief and the new belief that you want to have and embody, and they're both clashing against each other, because it's like, hey, I have this old belief that I need to struggle to make money, but then it's like, no, but I actually just want to make a lot of money with a lot of ease. But they are clashing each other, and then they're not incongruent, because that's the complete opposite. So we want to essentially let that old story go, so that we can create the new one, create that new neural network and that new pathway. Okay, so how do we do that? I'm going to link down below my secrets to emotions. And the reason I do this is because your emotions are just energy, and energy in motion. And healing really is the secret to manifestation, funnily enough. So I love that me discovering manifestation led me down my own healing journey, led me down this path of self-development and self-improvement, and being the woman that I am today, and continuously growing and helping others do the same. So it really you have to look at, first of all, getting to the root core of why you don't have what you want. Okay, let's take an example. Say you want to make 5 figures a month and you want to work 10 hours a week, right? Say you have your own business, your own online business, and that is the goal that you're trying to work towards. Maybe you've been really burnt out in the past, and you're tired of the masculine way of working, and you want to find a more beautiful, more sustainable way of working, where you can fully enjoy your life and also make a shit ton of money, because why not? So what we want to do is we want to first get really clear on a piece of paper, what are all the beliefs that tell you that you can't have that. Maybe it's, no, but I need to be, who else is going to be working, or who else is going to pay the bills, or money doesn't come easily, or it's not possible for me, or X, Y, and Z. Or maybe it's like, oh, I'll spend it all, so then I don't feel safe to make that money, because what if it just disappears? So having to look at money, I'm going to make a whole nother video on money story, because money there's so many elements and subconscious beliefs when it comes to money, and different approaches. I've learned as much as I can in the last couple of years, but really looking at what are the incongruent beliefs, but not just the mindset piece. I really want you to tune into your body and the sensations in your body. Maybe you feel a bit of anxiety, maybe you feel a bit of fear, maybe you feel a bit of shame or guilt, maybe you feel it here in your throat, maybe it's in your head. I really want you to be really in tune with your body. So the way I get my clients in their subconscious is to get in their body. And the reason I do this is because your body has all the answers. There is an infinite intelligence that is within us, that once it's tapped into, through clearing any dense negative emotions or energy, we have to clear those negative energy first, and then we can get really tapped into our infinite intelligence. I would like to give this analogy of, if you ever cut your finger or you have a wound, you never have to Google strategies or 3 steps to how to heal your finger or the 5 steps on how to make a baby. Your body has this natural intelligence to be able to do so. Okay, so just like the natural intelligence and the infinite intelligence that we all hold within us, I want you to trust that you have that infinite intelligence to know how to have that abundance, to know how to have the relationship, or know how to create the business of your dreams or create the life of your dreams. I want you to know that you've already got that within you, and that you don't need to look outside of yourself to find the answers. You never need to look outside of yourself. And I always tell this to my clients, like, that unless it's you're trying to learn to be a doctor, a lawyer, those things that you need theory, obviously you need to go study for that, and you need to gain knowledge and expertise and information. However, when it comes to your own life and your own personal intelligence, asking for advice from someone outside of you, a parent or a friend, isn't necessarily the best idea. And so it's me as a facilitator and as a guide is always guiding you back to yourself, into your own personal power, because you already have that within you. It's in your body. It's in your body, but we become so disconnected from our body because we live in the mind. But the mind is only creates stories, and it creates conditionings from the past that are not necessarily true. So you can also create new stories, and what stories that you want to believe in your mind, which will serve you. But if we're listening to the old stories of the past that are not ours, that are not serving us, then this is where we create a lot of friction in our everyday life. And so tuning into the body, and I like to do this really by taking some deep breaths, getting really relaxed, right? Our theta brainwave states are open when we wake up and when we go to sleep. And when you get really relaxed and imagine, so if you like to imagine, what I like to do is imagine like a white light coming from the top of my head and washing down my spine and breathing in and out of my heart. I like to have a hand on my heart, or I will typically focus my head towards my body, towards my chest. There are very many different ways to really connect to your body. There are ways to really ground in your energy just by imagining that the base of your spine is growing roots into the earth. So it really grounds your energy, really allows you to connect into your body. Right, that's how you can drop in right now. And to allow yourself to have a clearer mind, it's your environment, it's what are you listening to, what are you consuming every single day, because that is all noise as well. So really connecting into your body, allow yourself to just tune in. Okay, so once we do that, we want to then get to the root core. So the sensation usually is a feeling, and that feeling comes from the subconscious. So when you have this feeling, this trigger that comes up that maybe says, I feel guilty if I don't work hard. Okay, cool. Where's this guilt coming from? We never want to work from a fear, like shame or guilt, right? And we want to operate from a place of love and more of a higher frequency, of a higher emotional state. And the way to do that is to let go, is to actually release. So if you think of a drink bottle, like a cup full of water, we want to release all those denser energies like shame, guilt, fear, anger. And we always will move up and down the scale and feel those emotions, but if we're purely living from those energies, that's what we will attract into our everyday life. And so just really, when you get clear on where the sensation is in the body, what I tend to do is I work with my clients to clear that misunderstanding from the unconscious mind. So I do this through a mix of different modalities like EFT or hypnosis or inner child work or timeline therapy. I like to mix a bit of everything. I like to use my intuition and really guide my client to figure out what is going to be the best for them during that moment. And once I get clear and clear that energy, and that and moving energy looks like you sobbing your eyes out, maybe looks like you screaming, maybe it looks like you pushing up against a wall, or dancing, or just moving, or shaking, or yawning, or laughing, or burping. These are all ways of how you can process energy. And I know that a lot of the world feels a lot of shame for crying, but I want you to know that crying is just like dancing, or just like moving your body. It's just moving energy, and it's such a perfect and beautiful way for you to get out of that stuck energy, that stuckness in your life, that stagnancy. So crying is going to be a beautiful way to do that. I'm a crier. I definitely love to release and cry, because I just know that I'm on a brink of a breakthrough every time I cry. So once we clear the denser energy, and I like to test from before and after testing, so checking in on a scale of 1 to 10 how they feel in their body, and then checking in 20 minutes later and seeing that their numbers really have shifted and moved up and down the scale. And once they feel good in their body, because I want you to know that the nervous system is the place that holds the memory. Even our heart, science data has shown that our heart now actually, or always has had neural networks. So it has its own memory. And that's incredible, that our heart has the ability to hold memory and think for itself. Isn't that beautiful? So it's really, really important that we clear those weeds first, right? So this is what we do. We clear those weeds first, and then using your subliminals, and then using your journaling and your affirmations and the sleep tracks, because do them side by side, and you have to make sure you get to the root of what it is that is truly holding you back, and all the resistance that you carry. That is really the beauty of what neuromanifestation, or what this modality that I've created and put together really is, because you have to, I find that we miss out on the actually clearing part, on going to the root cause of why we are the way we are, why are we behaving the way we do, and realizing that we can forgive and accept ourselves with love, and that's all we really want and need. And we just want to be loved deep down, and heard and seen. And once we're able to do that, that's when you can see the big changes in your life start to occur. That's when you can start to see the money come in like that, 24 hours, when you see your whole life change in just a matter of 24 hours, 2 weeks, 3 days, 3 months. It does not need to take a long time for massive change to happen once you decide. And if you have a certain clear goal in your mind of how you want things to occur, and obviously the future that you want to create, you can move towards that with so much clarity. Even last night, I really sat down and I got clear with myself. Who is the woman that I want to create for the next year? I know the woman that I am now, I realized I created her 1 year ago, because I sent myself a future letter. So you can actually do that. There's a futureme.com, and you can write yourself letters to the future. And I received an email from my past self, and it's incredible to see the growth in just 1 year. I remember, so I wrote in my emails, I was so stressed about finances. In May of last year, I was like, I only have 200 Australian dollars in my bank account. I'm in Mexico. I'm about to move houses with this new friend. I'm so like pressed and stressed. I remember that time in my life, and now money is abundant, and it's still ever growing, and it's so nice to see the growth and the woman that I was creating last year, and who she is this year. So yeah, it's super beautiful. It's really, really cool to see that. And I know that with the help of myself, my team, I will be able to help you get to your goals quickly. If you've done a lot of the work already, and maybe you've watched a lot of YouTube videos, or you do your YouTube meditations and you write in your journal and you do your affirmations consistently, that's already amazing. You just need certain tweaks in getting to the root core, releasing that old story, and I can help you and I guide you to do that. And I do this through, like I mentioned before, hypnosis, EFT, inner child, like some psychology, some neurolinguistic programming, and some parts work, and it just gets to be easy, or it gets to flow for you. And I love guiding you to the goals that you want to create, or your desires that you have, because nothing brings me more joy than to share this work. And now that we've termed it neuromanifestation with the world, because I know I've been through my own struggles, especially with money. That's why I love talking about money. I've definitely gone through really hard times, where I couldn't even feed myself, and I'm completely alone and isolated in a country on the other side of the world, because I'm originally from Australia, and figuring it all out on my own. So I don't want you to do that, if you're having to do it all on your own. And I know you have support system, but you also have myself. And if you would love to book a free call to see if we are a good fit for you, go ahead and click the link in my description so that you can book a call with my team and we can set you up, because I do only have one more spot for private coaching, which I am so excited to share. I think we're going to open up more spots as the month progresses, but I am so excited, and I thank you so much, and I want to honor you for spending your time, because the greatest gift that you can give me is your time. So I thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited to create more content for you so that you can absolutely smash and create this goal, this dream of yours for the next year. And I will see you in the next video.